Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is the winter solstice, the darkest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. And in Prague, in the Czech Republic, a nation that still allows people to own guns, which is relatively rare for Europe, you have this mass shooting at the nation's oldest university. And this university was founded in the year 1348. So it's much older than our nation over here, the United States of America. But they're saying the shooter's been killed. The police didn't give a lot of details. They're also reporting at least 10 people are dead and 30 some more are injured. So massive. If this was in the US, this would be one of the deadliest mass shootings in history. But I want you to see how familiar the patterns are. If you're new to my channel, we've been around for a decade educating about how stories like this, they seem to be more the work of the authorities than the perpetrator that will get all the blame. And interesting show to check out. Originally came out in the UK. Amazon remade it in 2020. It's called Utopia. It's about billionaires taking over the world. And one of the things the billionaires have going is they're raising children to be mass shooters. They're also faking pandemics and mass sterilizing people for the sake of population control. But essentially, they have all these evil tactics to gain more and more control over the people of the world. And for example, here in the United States, the founders gave us the right to have free speech against tyranny and also the right to bear arms to protect ourselves from tyranny. And there's not a lot of nations left in the world where you still have the right to bear arms, but the Czech Republic is one of them for the time being. And you wonder, after a story like this, will that change? We saw Canada get disarmed in recent years. It's happened to a number of nations in recent decades. So let's just start off with the story and then we'll break it down. At least 10 people have died and 30 others were injured in a gun attack in Prague, emergency services in the Czech capital say. It's always what the authorities say. They told CNN the attacker had been killed and those wounded had varying severity of injuries. The incident at the philosophy building of Charles University, interesting, it was the philosophy building. Tyrants got a philosophy, order through chaos. At the philosophy building of Charles University, which is also the University of Prague, happened in the center of the capital. The area is popular with tourists and close to major attractions just across the Vltava River from Prague Castle. Police said the whole building had been evacuated and they were attending to the scene with the surrounding area completely cordoned off. They earlier said that the attacker had been eliminated without giving more details. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen expressed her condolences following the shooting. Shocked by the senseless violence of the shooting that claimed several lives today in Prague, she wrote in a post on X, "We stand and mourn with you." Shootings are relatively rare in the Czech Republic, according to Reuters. In December 2019, a 42-year-old man killed 6 people at a hospital waiting room in Ostrava in the east of the country before shooting himself, reports Reuters. And in 2015, a man killed 8 people in a shooting at a restaurant in Ursky Brod before killing himself, reports Reuters. So that's all they have. And then it says this is a breaking news story and will be updated. Well, in light of gun control being the thing that the tyrants are after and have achieved all over the world, notice, for example, how in Gematria, gun control equates to 131 in Gematria, just like Czech Republic. And if you're new here, Gematria comes from Kabbalah. It's the simple practice of coding numbers into words. And making matters more interesting, the leader of the nation, Peter Pavel, from his birthday, November 1st, to today is 50 days later. And gun control also equates to 50 when you apply numerology. A couple years ago, we were talking about a ritual with these exact numbers in California synced up with Gavin Newsom's speech on gun control. The exact same pattern, 131 and 50. And with regards to it being known as Charles University, we've seen a lot of killing rituals since King Charles became king, such as last year on his birthday. We had 2 breaking stories in the U.S. One was the murder of college students at the University of Idaho on Kings Road And then the other one was the murder of football players at the University of Virginia Cavaliers. And of course, those who fought for King Charles in history were Cavaliers. That's in the English Civil War in history. But notice, Charles, his November 14th birthday, to this mass murder on the winter solstice. And keep in mind, Obama just produced the film where the evil cabal, the dark cabal, meets on the winter solstice, the darkest day of the year, again in the Northern Hemisphere. But notice, this ritual at Charles University comes on King Charles' 38th day of his age. And again, if you're new here, this is a number to know, because not only does death equal 38, so does murder, so does killing, so does RIP. Shows up in death all the time. And there is something called Sumerian Gematria, which is just multiplying the alphabetic order times 6. So A would be 6, B would be 12, C would be 18. Death equates to 228 when you do that, just like how Charles University equates to 228. And big number over here in the U.S., United States of America, is 228. The only born American with a holiday named after him is Martin Luther King Jr., who was assassinated, whose name equals 228. But these numbers show up around fateful events all the time. Notice also that the name Charles has Gematria 66, like mass shooting, also like shoes, and so often at these shootings, they'll show a pile of shoes, which never makes any sense. And in light of it being the winter solstice, shooting and winter do have overlapping Gematria. And would you believe that Charles University was established on April 7th, 47? Again, very special number. It's a number of foundation, and it goes way back, like how all of this knowledge goes back to Babylon. The address of the campus is also at 38. I can't say the word properly. Opeltilova, maybe 38. And in light of the 66 piece, the phrase number of the beast does have Gematria of 66 and 258. Today's 258 days after the university's establishment anniversary. Of course, the number of the beast is 666, and the square root of 666 is 25.8, something like 258. And then Order of Illuminati is 258. And again, you just had that film put out by the Obamas where they're talking about the dark cabal, which you could just sub for Illuminati, meeting annually on the winter solstice. If my Czech Republic history was better, I'm sure I'd pick up on some other things on this, but just the number patterns, it's just over and over. You know, it was a tragedy last year at a U.S. university synced up with Charles. This year it's King Charles with Charles University on the winter solstice. So we'll keep this one short and sweet. Again, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who supports the work. And we'll be back when the next headline breaks. Have a good day, Truth Seeker. Until next time.